Okay, so I'm going to hide all these. And let's take a look, and we're going to use my son Caleb here. Let's take a look at how we might do his hair. Okay, because he's got, kind of all these little curls and stuff here at the end. So first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to make a new layer called Caleb hair. And I'm going to just kind of trace around, again, that whole basic shape here. And hold Alt. Oops. Let's flip those. Hold Alt. Right, so I'm kind of hold Alt. I'm kind of like even making up some of my own little curves here. I was looking at a student the other day doing an excellent job with his hair, like really, really super, and I actually opened his file the other day before I left and took a look at how he did it. Okay, so you can see I'm just basically tracing not every single one, but I'm tracing a lot of these like little curly hair thingies to get that shape. Okay, so that's that, and of course none of this matters. Oops, that was a little close. So I'll just white arrow, bring that back some. Okay, so here, gonna kind of come out, get this nice point there. And I'm doing that Alt trick where you hold Alt. Bend it back out. Alright, so there we go. Now what we're going to do is fill that, oops, and you can see that I'm not connected. You see that? So I can just click on this one here and drag it right to there. You see the circle, and that will close it off. Okay, so now I'll just kind of sample up his hair. And when we turn his head back on, the head actually, his head is going to need to be on top of his hair because of the way I just drew it. So I have to, golly, select his head. I'm going to do arrange, bring to front. Oops, okay, so that brings it to the top of that. And now what I'm going to do is make a new layer and drag his head to it and put that above his hair. Okay, so now with his hair, I just kind of sample and pick a different color. And just for the sake of the tutorial here, I'm just going to kind of randomize it some. Okay. And now it's not looking real because the way that I've got his hair, his face going here, right? So what I'm going to do is, this is an important part to understand here. I've got the Caleb hair, the base, all in the back. Then I have his face, and now I need another one called Caleb front hair. And now what I'm going to do is delete those or hide those two. And now with the same color selected, right, I'm just going to kind of like grab all these pieces that are sort of over his hair. And if I use the same color, then I don't have to worry. See, like even though there's not a curve in that, I'm going to put a little bit of a curve because I think otherwise it would look unnatural. Boy, that's bothering me the way it fills. So I'm going to stroke it. Alright, kind of put it up there. Okay, now there's a couple advantages that this affords us. The first is that we can take this kind of little front area here, all right, and we're gonna hold Alt and stretch these out a little bit because I sort of accidentally got them a little. Just doing some tweaking here really quick with the white arrow. Okay, now these shouldn't matter too much. You see how you know, this is a little pointy or whatever? That's not going to matter if I use the same color. If I go to Caleb Hair and I suck up that setting, right? You see how they look kind of invisible now, but I put his head in the middle, and look at that. We've got really, really pretty good looking hair on Caleb here, okay? And we can see this one little spot right there where his head's kind of poking out. We could leave that there, or we just kind of grab the white arrow, and on this layer, grab that one anchor and just drag it over a little bit. Okay, so that's one cool way to do it. The other thing you can do is, if you wanted to, like, you know, you saw his hair's got all those different colors, I could take that hair section there and lighten it up a little bit, you know, and that might actually look okay. Now this one I don't think it does, but it would, I think, that if I brought these again, brought this all out to the sides more, you know, like if I kind of basically redrew the top of his head here, I can get that kind of you know, just that look where you've got the sort of multiple colors, because his hair is a little brighter on top than it is underneath. And so you know, I can kind of try and sort of mimic that here. I want to bend that some. Oops. Holding Alt. Alright, so now I can kind of go back out, and that left side's not going to look good because it's way too fat. But, you know, I could fix that a little bit later. And you can see that I can try and do that thing where I can kind of show those two, you know, those two sort of shades of hair that he has, and how it's kind of like in those little sort of sections. Right? So that's one way to do it, and that's looking okay. And maybe I'd have to go in and, you know, kind of trace another one. Another really cool trick with hair when you've got strands like that, I'll actually just I'll show you in the next video, because there's another way to do it that's like kind of a neat trick. So we'll talk about the way to do strands of hair in the next video.